Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the L3R3 podcast with myself, Matt Likes Games, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. Uh, there's some stuff to talk about this week, but before we get into it, let's talk about what we've been playing. I know what I've been playing. There goes Twan. Jesus, Twan just disappeared.
Oh my
Upgrade
God.
your PC.
Oh, don't worry. His four-core processor that was actually kind of starting to date back in 2017, actually, is absolutely enough
It's
for
enough.
2024.
It's enough.
Wait, how many? My God, dude, calm the fuck on. All right, I'm
Dude.
sorry.
All
Oh, that was
right.
a minute. I'm sorry.
You're all right. So I was gonna start with Juan.
Oh,
There he
sorry.
is.
Sorry.
There
Yeah,
he
my
is.
Discord is being so fucking weird right now. Like I was like talking to myself. I'm like, "Do you guys even hear me?" And then just my whole and then like my Discord started like freaking out, and now I started hearing you guys again.
Once again, buddy, upgrade your PC.
That was weird.
But what have you
I
been
hope that doesn't
playing,
happen
buddy?
on stream.
All right, Matt. You
Oh,
continue
are we
with
live right now?
Yes, we're
Yes.
Are we
live.
live?
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
fuck.
Yeah, you missed the
Oh
Continue
intro
with your
because
shit.
your
introduction,
PC's
Matt.
bad.
Okay, fuck. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Oh my
Go
god,
on,
that was
Matt.
so bad. Okay, I'm just gonna turn my TV off real quick. Sorry. My bad. All right. Oh, are we going now?
Yeah, I'm asking you what you
All right.
want.
Okay, you asked me a question, right?
I sure did, bud.
God help us
Okay.
all.
So,
All right, go on, Matt.
all right, I'm going. All right, I'm ready. Anyway, so what I've been playing, I literally just recently finished Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That game was a masterpiece. It honestly is probably gonna end up being my god.
Nice.
Oh no.
Did it happen again?
Oh,
Did it happen again, Twan?
dude,
I
this,
mean,
this is scuffed. This is scuffed.
Twan.
Oh, don't worry. His
Just.
four-core processor from 2017 is just fine. I'm
Oh
upset.
my god. Okay, Mike, what have you been playing? What have you been
All
playing,
right.
bud?
Well, so first off, I think we gotta talk about the incredible game in the room that needs to be addressed. Even though we can't play it right now because the servers are absolutely broken. But Helldivers 2.
So okay,
That
I'm back now. Okay,
You
there's something
sure
wrong.
are.
There's something wrong here.
Yeah.
so
Did you guys even hear what I said? Like I was like literally talking for like 5 minutes,
You talked about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and then
and then
you
did I just
stopped.
cut off after that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, yeah. So I was believe it or not, I was talking. My something wrong with my computer right now. Oh, now it's all black, just a black screen.
all right.
All right.
So I'm gonna keep
You guys
talking.
hear me?
Twan, figure out your stuff. Figure out
Twan,
your shit,
restart your
Twan.
computer.
Okay, I think it's good now. Oh wait, I gotta close
It's
out the
not.
games. Okay, that's why. Okay, we're good now.
Oh
I
my
didn't close out
God.
this game.
Mike.
Okay. Are we actually good?
Okay, right
No,
now
we're
it looks
not.
good, but I wouldn't be surprised if it like starts fucking up again.
Yeah, I
Alright.
wouldn't either.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So Helldivers 2. Now this is a game that is genuinely fantastic. I wish the servers weren't so borked, but they weren't expecting it to be this big. I kind of expected Sony to maybe step up a little sooner, maybe to help with the servers, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't want to speak up my ass when it comes to that because I don't know the inner workings of that.
Sony
But
doesn't know how to fix servers.
yeah, I know this is their first time this is genuinely their first time in years having to realize how to fix this. You can't name me another game they've made that has had any type of traffic like this. They're probably having a mental breakdown right now.
They have no idea how to handle a successful multiplayer game.
Yeah, because I mean, like
And-
Killzone Shackle didn't really get that much people. I feel like that never really had a
Actually, what's
big player
funny
base.
is actually that game actually had a
What?
pretty solid player base to the point where
Okay.
I remember actually
Killzone Shadowfall.
Oh,
The
okay.
multiplayer
Gotcha.
on that. Yeah.
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 like I actually remember that game actually having some server related issues too. Like they weren't expecting that either, and then they killed the okay, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, that's another ball game there.
But I genuinely think Helldivers 2 is what if like fun video games had to be summarized like I like, and I think you need to give an example. I think Helldivers 2 would absolutely just be a perfect example of that. Its presentation, how easy it is to get into, just how, like, I don't want to say corny, but silly and on the nose. The whole, like, you're doing everything for democracy. You're fighting for the safety of Super Earth, and it's Matt, we were talking about the other day, when you're just holding RT while firing a, like, machine gun, and he's like, freedom.
Yeah.
Or he starts cackling like a psychopath, and I'm like, this is the coolest shit I have ever seen. Like I love this game. It is so charming. Even though today I was
It's just
getting salty at it.
personality. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just It just has so much personality, and it kind of knows. And I don't want to say kind of. It knows what it is. It's not, trying to be some.
Like a Call of Duty ripoff or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's not trying to, take itself to, and it's priced perfectly. And I know we're not going to talk about the server issues because, like, I want to just talk about the product itself. But, like, I think $40 for what that game offers is incredible. Genuinely. So I'm very, 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 very happy with my purchase so far.
Good.
I don't have as much playtime as everybody else yet, but I've been really enjoying that. Outside of Helldivers, I've been playing a ton of Enshrouded. Enshrouded actually has combat you can almost kind of compare it to a Souls-like game. But also you can actually really kind of compare it to Zelda. I've noticed. It has a bit of that going on for it, and I think that game's fantastic. It's currently in early access, but it does have full controller support, not like this weird partial stuff that makes me want to rip out my hair. So, I think that game's brilliant, and I think it has a genuinely fantastic future for it. I'm very excited to see where that game goes to, because it got me interested in building, crafting, hunting, scavenging for supplies, building houses, exploring things to be like yesterday I found a cliffside where, like, a house can go here. And I think it'd be really cool to have a little base on the side of a mountain. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be really cool. And I'm really happy that I found out about that game. Just randomly joined a group call one day with some of my buds, and they're like, "Hey, I think you'd like this, Mike." And I just literally bought it. I didn't even really look at it. I just bought it. I was like, I'll try it out. And it's fantastic. I highly recommend Enshrouded if you have a PC. Probably will come to console at some point, but it's in early access at the moment. The whole story on that. So, yeah, that's what I've been playing. What about you, Matt?
Nice. I have been playing, same Helldivers 2. A lot of that. Starship Troopers.
Yeah. Yep.
And, God, NBA. Death Stranding. I'm near the end of Death Stranding.
I gotta start that up again.
And then also, I bought Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden, and I played like 40 minutes of that so far. But I'm not really playing that until I'm done with Death Stranding.
Makes
But
sense.
the big game I'm playing is Helldivers 2, which I guess we should talk about. I mean, the big news this week is not, surprisingly, it's not Helldivers 2. It's actually something even bigger and more.
Hats off to that studio, though.
Yeah, very much so. So, but we'll talk about it because I want to get it out of the way before we get to the big thing, and I also do think it deserves some recognition. You've played it. I've played it. Twan, you're currently downloading it.
Would you like to
I
address the
just put
chat
the
real
disc
quick,
in
Matt?
right now. Yeah.
What's that?
Would you like to address the chat real quick?
Oh,
Nikita is asking us questions.
Nikita. Hey, how's everyone's weekend going? Matt, how's Death Stranding? So, Death Stranding is incredible. Death Stranding is, and I was one of the people who
Non-believers.
Yes, I very much. I fell into the whole like Xbox fanboy thing of like, It's a walking sim, garbage, trash game that nobody wants to play with no real gameplay. And then I played it, and I was like, wow, this is the most unique thing I've ever
Yeah.
played. I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing I've ever played. I certainly don't think that, but it's really, really good, and it's easily the most unique thing
Very
I've ever
unique.
played.
Very unique.
So I highly recommend that.
Now,
It's
can I
something
just say
only
something real
Kojima
quick?
could have made.
Yeah,
Mind if I say something real quick?
yeah.
I always like to think that like when I was a PlayStation fanboy and you were like a hardcore Xbox fanboy and we didn't know each other, we probably argued.
We probably
Like,
did,
I think
honestly.
I'd love
it
to
was
see
the
that.
Eastern
That
Front
would have been a funny thing
on
to see.
Twitter. Oh
Dude,
god,
it
that was
was.
hysterical.
I
Who knows?
mean,
Maybe you guys had an argument on Twitter and even know. You
We
even realize
probably
it.
did.
That was super.
Probably.
We probably did. I mean, when the Xbox One launched, I was. Thankfully, I wasn't
Full on
on. I
defense
didn't.
force.
Thankfully, I didn't have the Twitter account I have now, so nobody will ever see that, unless they go. God, I forget. I forget how to even log into that account. But like when the Xbox One launched, I was a piece of shit. I was a horrible, horrible person online. And
Matt
I
has called me several things.
I was arguing with people who were just as bad, if not worse, and it was no good for anybody. It was really terrible. But yeah, embarrassing ex fanboy stuff aside. Okay, Vincent Vega in the chat says I find Death Stranding too eerie at times. Need a good mood day to enjoy playing it. Yeah, I can see that. It's a
You gotta be
really
in a mood for it.
it's a very I wouldn't say scary, but I think eerie. The way you said that, eerie is a pretty.
It's a depressing world, and I'm gonna play it one day because I need to.
Like it makes you feel really tense. Like I get really tense playing that game. You know.
Yeah.
It can be super tense whenever like there's BTs and stuff. And I was
Yeah. While you're
that's
juggling
something.
like a bunch of cargo, you know.
Yeah, that's something
Make sure
I
you don't
really
flip it
wanted
all.
to be able to show you, Mike. And I need to get to a part where I can actually do that. But like that's a whole different part of the game where it's like it's not scary, but it's like super tense, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's very fun. Also, like
the sound that.
the world, it's not so much depressing. I guess the layout, the colors, and everything. It's very brown. It's very brown, green, and
I think the lore of the world is pretty horrific, though.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like why the world the way. I mean, because I know little bits of it.
Yes, but the story
so-
does a good
sorry,
job. You're right, but the story does a good job of making it like the story is more about the opposite end of where it's like about fixing everything and a lot of optimism and everything within the story.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, really great game. Highly recommended if you have a way to play it, PlayStation or PC. It's fantastic, and I cannot wait for Death Stranding 2. That's all I need. That is all I need. But talking about Helldivers 2 right now.
I guess I could talk about what I was playing. It looks like my PC is finally good now. So I guess I could, because I kind of got cut short last time. Anyways,
you sure did.
What I was playing. So I was playing
cutting you short. All right, go on.
Yeah, so I was playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I just beat that just a few days ago. Absolute masterpiece of a game. It's probably gonna end up being my Gotti this year. Honestly, the only thing I can think that comes close is probably gonna be Metaphor later this year, just because like I'm a pretty big Atlas fanboy. I'm really looking forward to that game. And like, man, like the amount of emotional like side quests in that game like really got to me. Like I had to like take crying breaks like every like 10 minutes because like it just really hammers you down. Like just because like
Juan is crying over a million different things every episode. He's crying over Astrobot. He's crying over
straight up like sobbing. Like I was like straight up sobbing, you know? Like it's actually crazy. Like it's just they really know how to pull your heartstrings in that game. And it's crazy because at the same time they also know how to how to have fun and how to be a video game. Like it's crazy how it could just kind of juggle between all those different moods, which is why I love the series so much. But anyways, after I beat that game, now I'm just going back to Persona 3 Reloads because they're two big, massive games. Like just those two games alone are keeping me busy, right? Both 80-hour games. So yeah, now I'm just playing that right now. And I'm just enjoying the hell out of it. It's Persona 3, but better graphics and shit. So you can't go wrong with that. And yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of that. So it's pretty much about it. I just popped Helldivers 2 in. I haven't really played it yet. I'm still copying the disc. I don't know why it's taking so long, but hopefully it's done by the time the show's over. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
You might still not be able to play it because the servers are toast.
Yeah, exactly.
So it might be
we're
a
gonna
while.
keep talking about Helldivers 2. We're gonna get into the main subject.
We're absolutely going to be talking about
I didn't know
you said. Well, there's the main subject is obviously Xbox and the business update. But I do want to talk about Helldivers 2 briefly because I think it deserves it. It's fantastic. And I think it deserves to be talked about for a few reasons. One of which, selfishly on my end, I hope this is a lesson for Sony, and not just Sony, but also Microsoft. Because Sony, for the reason being that they need games that are based entirely on fun. Like, they have a lot of games that are very, great and cool stories and really amazing characters.
Experiences.
Yes, and that's fantastic, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that stuff. But you need to have a focus on games that offer you entirely offer you fun. And that's all the game is based on. And that's what Helldivers is. And I hope that this game succeeding open Sony's eyes a little bit to see, hey, maybe we should do some more stuff like this. Because I was working on a video today and I was thinking of imagine they're looking at this like, okay, how can we bring back Killzone or Resistance? You could make this game
Killzone.
You could make this game, even if you don't want to spend you don't want to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make a campaign, fine, whatever. Literally make Helldivers 2, but in the Killzone universe or the Resistance universe. Literally, that's it. I mean, it would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. For Xbox,
bring back SOCOM maybe or something.
I would
bring back anything.
If I would lose, I can't tell you the degree. The degrees of how much I'd lose my mind if they either brought back Killzone or just re-released the entire collection on PC. I'd actually probably explode. Like I'd buy a PS6 if I have to for more Killzone. Like I absolutely would.
I don't blame you.
Oh my god! Sorry, continue with your point. Sorry about that.
You're fine. And on Xbox's side, I hope they're looking at this like, wow. I wonder if we have anything that could play similar to Helldivers. What could we possibly fucking have that's part of an established IP that we made a game on in 2009 and have never fucking touched since? What do we have that could play kind of like Helldivers? Where's ODST?
And hell, it did. Fucking Firefights pretty goddamn. It's pretty goddamn similar to the concept. I mean, in some ways.
It's nuts how I don't understand how we don't have ODST too. And again, same thing like I said with Killzone or Resistance. If you don't want to make a big, epic campaign costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make, that's totally fine. Just make a multiplayer-centric co-op experience of ODST. Yep. That's
like $40 game.
Yeah, make it a $40. Like, I don't care. Make it a $20 game if you fucking want to. I don't care what you do. But there's no reason that should not exist. There is no reason that should not exist. And I even saw Hidden Xperia was on Twitter today. And I'm going off on a little bit of a rant. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you guys talk. But I saw Hidden Xperia over on Twitter today was replying to somebody, or somebody was replying to him, when he was talking about, I can't believe Microsoft hasn't done this. And an L3R3 employee was like, actually, we pitched this like multiple times to Microsoft. And every single time they said no. So it's like Microsoft, fucking please open your eyes, look at the success, and let them do the game, please. Please let them do the game. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
Sometimes, man.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys go because I went off on a little bit.
No,
How
I
are
just
you
want to add
feeling?
on to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to add on to that. You're completely right. Like I know, like, and no, I don't like, because I don't know the 100% behind the scenes, but I always keep hearing how like open they are to ideas and letting like, studios do what they want. And then you hear there's like one guy that pitched like 40 different ideas for a new ODST game, and like they just said no to every single one of them. What the fuck is going? ODSTs, Halo 3 ODST was one of the coolest experiences I've had in Halo. Period. It was the most grounded in kind of almost had a sense of like horror to it. That you are a human, like an actual normal human being, fighting these giant behemoth freaks of nature that can just simply look at you and you're dead. You know what I mean? Like, in the fact we haven't had more of that, and we get, oh, here's a squad of Spartans now. Oh, here we're, and it's like, I don't know. It's stupid. I feel like it's a giant waste of potential to just not. And I get it, probably because the Spartans sell more, but it's like I don't fucking, find a way to make it work. If you can fucking sell
100%.
$40 microtransactions, like you can fucking make a way to make a Halo ODST game. Find a way. You'll find a way to make it work. Find a
That's
way.
100%, and that's why you don't need to make it a huge. Like, it doesn't need to cost or have the production budget of Halo Infinite. It can just be fucking a small game. It doesn't even need to be 343. You could give it to. You could give it to somebody, anybody who wants to do that. You could give it. You could give it to. If you want
and
to.
That's one other thing they need to do with Halo. Stop it. Stop it with the 343 only shit. There's way too many good ideas out there for Halo to just like keep getting a single game based on a Halo IP like once a decade. Like it stopped. Like that don't work no more. The Halo universe is way too vast.
It is. It's also completely. It's also completely unfair
give it to software or something.
You could be given that to like.
That'd be nuts.
It's unfair. It's unfair to Microsoft, Halo, and 343 to only have 343 because if the only thing you're getting from Halo and you're an avid Halo fan is whatever 343 makes, sure, Halo Infinite's great now, but when it launched, it was we all agree it was in a rough state after about a month, and then we all realized there's no content. But it's like if you can take some of the pressure off of 343 to have to deliver the Halo experience every single fucking time they release a game because they're the only people making a Halo game, I feel like that would be a little bit beneficial. It's also just kind of smart. It's insane that like we haven't seen the flood since Halo 3. Like
that's insane.
What are we doing? How was that not? And I get like, oh, but we want Master Chief to. You don't have to have it doesn't have to be a Master Chief thing. Literally, make a horror game based on the flood. Make an RPG. Yeah. Make whatever the hell you want. But like, Halo's too huge to just be. And I feel like we've had this conversation on this show before, like years ago when Halo Infinite launched. But Halo's too big to just be Halo Infinite.
It's a universe.
Yeah, it's like, literally a universe.
It's not just John Halo. It's a universe with living people and multiple different perspectives of all sorts of things and different people making all these sacrifices all across the galaxy, all across the planets they're on. And it's like, don't get me wrong, the Master Chief is really cool, but you can only fucking milk that cow a little as much as you can without like me even getting a little fatigued from it. Like, I need more than just him. Like,
sure.
Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion, though.
It makes sense. But all this to say, like, props to Helldivers, too, for, first of all, for building a community that, and that's another thing I will say about this game. The community for this game is fucking awesome. The amount of games I've played, I mean, I've mostly played with you guys, but I've got about 30 hours on the game. And of that 30, we'll say 25 is with you guys. But 5 or so hours is probably with just random people. I haven't once ran into an asshole on that game.
Yeah.
I have not once run into somebody who was just shouting, being toxic, or not being helpful. I haven't run into that on that game,
That's such a good experience.
which is insane in multiplayer games in 2024. So shout out to them for that as well. But I wanted to bring up the subject because shout out to what's Arrowhead Studios for making a game that's based entirely on the fun aspect. I really think they deserve a lot of praise for that, and they deserve all the success in the world. And it's great to hear that they're actually ramping up more development on more things for the game in the future, because they did not plan for this game to be this big of a success. And their roadmap, I got a feeling, is going to look a lot different for this game than they probably had thought it would, and that's awesome. That's very awesome. Tuan, what's your download on? Have you played it at all? Are you playing it now?
I could turn my no. I'm just like listening to what you guys are saying right now. But I'll turn my TV on and see where it's at.
Have you guys, Matt? Have you noticed the war against the bots is looking a little shaky right now? Have you been paying attention to that statistic? We need more people over fighting the robots.
It's at 78%. It's at 78%
what statistic?
right now.
You can look at the planet liberated and all the status and how many people are fighting the robots compared to how many are fighting the arachnids, and it's we need men. Get over there, anyone listening. We need immediate assistance fighting the bot menace. All right.
So dumb question: is it everybody? All players working together to do...
Yeah, we're working together to liberate the galaxy, and you can tell how much of each sector is liberated.
That's
even
awesome.
After you beat a mission.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. We're fighting together to liberate the galaxy.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Swan, that's why it's such a because that's why I'm always we need reinforcements. We need people to start adventuring out against the bots. We need to take down the bot menace.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good that Sony's has a first party game that you can just go home, pick up a controller, and just play it.
Finally,
you don't have to just sit sit down, experience the story. Just fucking play the game. It's just you turn it on, play.
That's all gameplay.
It's not enough games like that.
It's all gameplay. Also,
and I just find it.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I also find it fun now, Sony and Microsoft, they always complain, games are getting too big nowadays, it takes too long to make them. Well, then just make smaller games, just make smaller, fun games. Done. And then may have a big game every now and then,
100%.
John Layden said that, and people had a mental breakdown when he did.
And that's the question. Whoa! That's the question I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think, we talked about it many times before, about how Sony needs to focus on maybe making smaller games, but do you think that now finally that they have an example of, hey, here's a smaller game, we've heard people have been asking for us to do this for a while, but now we have a real tangible example of it, and it's very, very successful? Do you think that sways them at all and their I don't know, formula of game development, where they're like, okay, maybe that's something we can do?
No,
yeah, I think or
not. I think they're gonna allow studios to definitely work on smaller games, but I genuinely kind of think they're way more still obsessed with chasing the respect of the movie industry and being seen as a legitimate form of media. You can see it. You can kind of see that in almost all of their games. I'm not saying that they're not legitimate forms of entertainment if they're not AAA, but you know what I mean. I still think if anything, I think they'll definitely become more lenient on the idea. Do not get me wrong, but something tells me though they're gonna also make sure those games are kind of gas games.
Sure.
Because I think that's the only way they'd be okay with that. Personally, I'm not a fucking developer. I don't work at Sony. I don't really, this is just my personal opinion over the shit we've read and heard about over the recent years. But I think this makes a lot of people upset, and everyone's like, it's a gas game, it doesn't count. But Man, I think more than anything, Sony's realizing that maybe this whole waiting 2 years to release something on PC, isn't it. Everyone keeps saying it's a gas game, it's a gas game, it's a gas game. Like, yeah, you're right. Now imagine like Spider-Man 3 launching day and date.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm glad you brought that up.
I think that would break Steam.
Yeah.
I think it would break Steam, and everyone's like, "Oh, no one will buy a PlayStation then." I'm like, I'm tired of hearing that argument because there would
I'll
absolutely be
buy
a
a
small
PlayStation.
portion. That's exactly it. There is a small portion that probably would go build a PC. However, the vast majority of the market absolutely will fucking not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
So
one's
every
gonna
time,
build a PC to play Call of Duty.
like, that's just
Yeah.
it's PC gaming as popular as it is, and it's my only form of gaming. I do not boot. Like, I unplugged my Xbox today just because whenever I turn on my computer with my controller, it sometimes turns on my Xbox, and it was pissing me off. But but like I just everyone's like it's gonna cannibalize PlayStation. I'm like, it depends on how they handle it, man. Like, maybe some games are a day and date, and some games are 6 months to a year. Like, it doesn't have to be a clear, concrete formula. Like, this game had no advertising, like, really no advertising to speak of. No real build-up hype. Yeah, there's the dedicated fans of the first game, but no real build-up hype. And it came out of nowhere and like floored everyone. Now just imagine a Spider-Man 3 or a Last of Us 3 or I just and it's like with how much their development costs are, like I just think it's worth it to them. Like, like Nintendo doesn't have to do it because their hardware is made of chewing gum and strings. So it's like they don't need, they don't have like these crazy like probably costs to make. You know what I mean? Like it's like they don't have to worry about this. But PlayStation, look at fucking Spider-Man. Didn't Spider-Man have like what was the fucking budget on that game, including all the marketing and shit? Wasn't it like 300 million or some shit like
It was
that?
like
Yeah, it was
315.
like over 300 million.
315. Now, like, imagine like how much would be offset if I know you want to sell the console, but I get it, but I think you're reaching a time. Literal Nintendo cardboard. Exactly. Literally, he's not. No, what? They literally sold us fucking cardboard for a VR headset. Does anyone remember that shit?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah, that's the Labo. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Labo.
yeah,
That's
fucking
terrible.
literally. So like,
Yeah.
everyone's like, well, why doesn't Nintendo have to do it? Because like, Nintendo's costs are absolutely different compared to PlayStation and Xbox. Anyway,
And the
sorry.
amount of software
Thank you
that
for
they
reminding
actually
me that.
sell, the amount of
Thank you for
software that they
reminding.
actually sell on their console too, like just look at the sales for Mario Kart 8 alone on the Switch.
Yeah,
Like they're making money off those
yeah,
sales.
exactly. So
Yep.
it's like PlayStation with their costs fucking flying through the roof. I still think they need to be careful of that. I don't think you can, we're gonna off budget, increasing the price of games for, we're gonna sell it on PC, so it's fine. I think they still need to be precautious for that. But like, I think it would, some of these studios don't have to worry as much. Like, if we don't solid 99 on Metacritic and sell like what is it? What is the fucking percentage? What is like I can't remember the exact. Let's say like a percent of the PS5 population. They don't gotta worry about hitting that specific number. I mean, once again though, that's all analytics, and I'm pretty sure that might add new pressures to them. But the thing is too is like this gives Sony the chance of making it more beneficial for them. They could make as much as I do not want another launcher. I want their shit on Steam. Don't piss me off, PlayStation. But there's ways they can make it beneficial for them.
Well, yeah,
And
they have their
maybe
own.
have their own launcher. Like
Yeah,
I
they're
heard
100%
they
of the
actually
sales, right? They got
like
100%.
there's a way. There are ways that they can make this more beneficial, and this is also going to tie in to something I'm going to talk about later when I saw a quote from Phil Spencer from 20, I don't know, whenever, early 20 or 10s, when they said not all Xbox games are going to go day and date on PC. But I want to tie all of this together, but I'm going to save that for when we get to the whole Xbox news. Sorry for the rant there. I've been thinking on that for a while.
You're all right. And I'm kind of glad you brought that stuff up because that's another point I want to get to. But Tuan, the original question being, do you think that Sony looks at this and says maybe it's worth investing in these kind of games more often?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I think what Mike said, like I feel like most of them are probably gonna have like some gas component to them. where it's like, like kind of like a live service game, but there will be smaller games. Like, I feel like the days of like, having Japan Studio make a bunch of these smaller games, I feel like those days are like long gone at this point. Like, we're probably never gonna get to that era of like Sony again. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's just the sad reality of things. But
Yeah.
but I could see some smaller games like some more some gas titles here and there. But I mean, I feel like they're already really doing that. I'm not sure how, because I know they started and now they went back a bit, and I don't know if this is going to continue to make them.
That's
do
why
it
I want
again.
to fight them over the Last of Us factions because I don't. That's a whole nother. I'll never understand. Never mind. Keep going, Quan. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah. So I'm not sure like where they're completely at with it, because like I said, I already know they have a lot of like gas titles in the works already, and I'm not sure how. If those are smaller games, like I don't know, what was the other game called again? The one that had the sandwich, like the CG sandwich. I don't know if you remember that one.
Concord or something?
Concord, yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know if that's gonna be like a $40 game. I'm not sure. Who knows? Who knows how who knows like at what scale those games are really gonna be at, right? But yeah, I mean, for sure, obviously their live service games are pretty much all going to be day one PC at this point. Like, I think that's like a pretty much a given at this point. Like, I feel like at this point they'd be stupid not to release like a live service game on PC day one, because this is the first time they've done it, right? So, and they see how much of a success it was. Yeah, this is going to be the norm going forward, at least when it comes to live service games. First party PlayStation games. Like, it makes me wonder, like, what factions would have been a day one PC release? Probably not, though.
Yeah,
I
think so.
Right?
I would assume
because it's a gas game.
Because it's a multiplayer. It's factions.
Yeah, but I mean, now we'll never know now because it's canceled, so we never know if that would have been the case or not.
And that's the problem right there, Vincent, is they have to be fun, and that's what kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have a lot of concerns.
It's a big risk. It's a big risk making those type of games, right? Because they're expensive. Like, they are smaller games, but it is expensive to maintain them, right? Because the servers, this and that, right? So it is a risk. And if the game comes out and it's a dud, it's over, right? You've lost a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
absolutely. You can't recover from it, right? And it's just crazy because you fail with like a game like that, and then those whole ass studios could close because of shit like that, right? So it's like it's
oh my god,
it's a risky thing.
Yeah,
very risky.
Sorry, time's just flying.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's pretty much my thoughts on it, honestly. But
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Mike brought up the whole point of Sony seeming afraid to embrace the whole PC day and date thing. And I was talking to someone on Twitter, Joe, on Twitter, and I brought up the point that like you look at a game like we're talking about their live service games right now, going day and date, and I think that's kind of inevitable. I think that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I'm not expecting single player games anytime soon to go.
But that's probably
going to take a while.
I'm thinking absolutely single player games, because it doesn't like there's this whole thing of like, oh, it makes sense to release your live service games on there because it's multiplayer, and PC as a community is very multiplayer focused, and they love those kind of games. There's no reason to think that they won't love Last of Us Part 3 or God of War, whatever the hell the next one's going to be called. Like, there's no reason to think they won't love that, considering the fact that you look at two relatively recent games from this generation, Cyberpunk and Elden Ring. People talk about concurrent players a lot on Steam. Those are both like super high in the ranks, like as far as concurrent players, like their peaks were.
Cyberpunk
very
especially,
Cyberpunk was like almost a million.
No, it was over a million.
I don't think
over
it was.
a million.
I don't think it was. It was like 800. It was like 810.
No. It was over a million. Check it. Yeah, check it.
I did. But regardless, it was a lot of people. Same with Elden Ring. It was a lot of people. There's definitely room for them to be, or an audience for them to be releasing single player games day and date on PC. Now the whole argument or conversation about, oh, but that'll mean that people will be buying less PS5s or PS6s, whatever the fuck we're on at this point. Like, the thing is, maybe, like, let's say,
Yes.
let's
Cyberpunk
say,
was over 1 million. See, I'm looking right now.
okay, on
Yeah,
Steam.
1,054,000. Yeah, on Steam. Yeah, 1 million.
Well, either way, it's
thousand.
fucking impressive.
Yes.
Is the point?
Yeah, it's over 1 million. So it's
Okay.
over 1 million.
So
So I knew I was right. Fuck.
hold on a second. God damn it, Twan.
Sorry. that was bothering me.
Somebody go. I forgot.
I wasn't going to say anything. Twan, you made him forget what he's going to say.
No, we're talking about Helldivers, or we're talking about, I don't know.
Maybe we should move on to the main subject of the show.
Let's
Let's move on to the main subject of the show. We're like an hour in. Let's move to the main subject. I want to talk about
I
it.
had a really good point. God damn it. All right.
Twan, you're
We're
Canadian.
talking about like Cyberpunk, and then you were talking about something else. Like,
Yeah, he was trying to.
I definitely was talking about something else. I know that much.
God.
Okay, let's just go to the main point.
does anyone in the chat remember what Matt was saying?
Oh my god.
It's cooked one. It's over. Let's go to the main point, which is Xbox and their big business update. Few things to talk about here. But first, I guess we'll start just how they started on the show with exclusivity. 4 games.
They want to get that out of the way.
4 games coming to PlayStation, Nintendo. I mean, did they specify? I don't think they specified PlayStation.
No,
Nintendo.
they said they. Oh no, they just said consoles to the other consoles.
Yeah, to other consoles. So we'll assume PlayStation and Nintendo. 4 games.
Ooh, yeah.
We don't know the names of the games for sure. They're not confirmed. We do know 2 game, or they're at least a year old at this point. 2 of them being live service, and 2 of them being smaller single player experiences.
Games. Yeah.
We everybody assumes. And I would assume you guys agree. Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded are probably the games.
Good chance it's those ones.
Yeah. So 4 games. Of course, this opens up the whole conversation for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of it on Twitter ever since the business update. Yeah, but it's kind of, I remember Ham talked about this. In fact, Ham went off on bullshit, and I highly encourage you guys, to anybody who sees this, to go watch that episode just this past week. Ham was in his bag, and he went off, and he had a lot of good points. But there's a thing online that I'm seeing, and Ham was talking about it, where people are saying, yeah, well, it's the things that they didn't say that's really important. It's like, okay, me personally, and I'll let you guys go on this, I assume this means that more games will come to other... I mean, this is probably a test, to test the waters and see how it goes. But if it works, I think it's fair to assume more games will also come to PlayStation and Nintendo. And for me, that's fine. I also am living in a reality where, like, I can only be focused on now. Like, if they're gonna release 4 games now, by all means, go ahead and release 4 games. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm not gonna get upset at the prospect. Oh, but he didn't definitely say no about Starfield. It's like, I don't care.
But 5 years from now, you know, they could change.
But
I mean, 5 years from now, the industry could be completely different in 5 years.
Starfield could be like remastered on PS6. I don't give a shit. Let it be remastered.
I could be
on
dead.
PS6.
I could be dead. I could be dead in 6 years. For all
anything can happen. Literally anything can happen. It's not. I'm gonna let you guys go, but for me, it's not a big deal. This whole exclusivity thing was never a big deal, but I guess it's nice to finally hear them say, "Hey, all that stuff you were hearing, like, yeah, maybe it happens, but it's definitely not in the plans right now. Like, none of that's going on right now." So, I'm gonna pass it to you guys. What are your thoughts? First of all, about 4 games, like we assume what they are, but I mean, what are your thoughts on the 4 games coming to PlayStation, Nintendo? Do you think like I do that this leads to more games in the future? And does that bother you? Are you very bothered by it?
Mind if I go first?
Okay, yeah,
Anybody?
sure.
You go ahead.
So honestly,
Let's go
I'm
first.
gonna say this. If okay, so I want to address one certain my thought in the community right now, where there's a whole from a certain fan base saying that, oh, he didn't 100% say no, so that means things could eventually become day and date on this platform or over here. So that's absolute. Since he didn't 100% say no, that means it's absolutely going to happen. A certain fan base was saying that. However, and then at the same time, they'd go off after the literal president of Sony, if I'm not mistaken, or is it the PlayStation division? I do not know how to pronounce it. I'm not even
Hiroki
gonna
Totoki.
thank. Is that really it?
Yep, Hiroki
Wow,
Totoki.
thank you. He's saying that the current model really isn't enough, and they need to look into different ways. They're talking about different platforms. To me, I really think that means they're going to be pushing hard PC.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, he didn't mean it like that. He didn't mean it like that. So I just thought that was funny, and I just kind of want
Yeah.
that out. I just wanted to throw that out into the air. Like, that Phil can't be trusted for his word, but we're all misunderstanding what the PlayStation got. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I actually really like the business update just because of the fact, like, everyone's like, he wasn't honest, he wasn't honest, he wasn't. I'm like, to me, it sounded like he was. Like, we're just pushing games that
Yeah.
could help with the boost in like
Yeah.
popularity, and it's kind of a learning curve. Don't take this as we're releasing every game on other platforms,
Yeah,
because we're
he straight up
not.
said
Don't let.
it's not. Yeah, he
Yeah,
straight
he's
up said
like,
we're not doing that. You know.
and it's like he's like, also don't let people like tell you that we're not releasing games day and date on Game Pass, because we are. And it's like, to me, that's all
Yeah.
I wanted. I really don't care if certain games end up going. I don't really give a fuck. My only concern was that of how it was going to be handled, and I understand some people are in constant fear of paranoia, because that's just the world we live in, where people think the world's about to fucking explode every given second. But like, it's not good for anyone. But
Mhm.
but my opinion of it is like, I thought it was a nice update. And I appreciated it. Was there corporate speak in there? Absolutely. Because,
Yeah,
dude,
for
like,
sure.
he said anywhere in between 5 to 20 years, like, the absolute entire state of the industry could be different. He is objectively correct on that. The
Mhm.
only
Yeah.
the only freaking people I could see not changing whatsoever is Nintendo, because they don't need to. Once again, selling literal cardboard to consumers and actually making a profit on it. So it's like,
Yep.
so it's like I can absolutely see that, and the promise, the fact that that things are gonna always remain. Don't worry, we're gonna have it's stupid, because the industry is absolutely moving away from that, because it's not enough anymore, and it just isn't. Like, I don't remember the exact revelation this, but they're saying it's not enough. Like, something's gotta give, and if it ends up being Xbox first, it's probably gonna suck for some people. I get it, but also kind of get over. Because I don't know. I just think people are kind of. I understand the concerns. I get being worried about the health of the ecosystem. Um, but I think some of it kind of borders on absolute hysteria rather than reason, concern, reasonable frustration, and more so just kind of concern trolling. And we've seen that a lot in the Xbox community. For God's sake, a new rumor pops up once every other month, and everyone loses their fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
once every other month, dude. And it's like, it's at the point where I almost don't really kind of care how the rest of the quote unquote community feels about it, because they're kind of the reason as to why they're in the situation, a part of it. Um, I mean, that's just kind of how I have a genuine takeaway. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the Xbox One and in the corner they put themselves in was their fault, but kind of this whole never being allowed to progress mindset is just kind of silly. And this kind of leads on to that one picture I saw where someone said in 2013 or 2012, whenever it was, when Phil said, "See, it's not going to happen," and that That's fucking funny. A moment. I just saw that comment. That cracked me
Yeah.
up. Sorry about that. I stopped mid thought.
I want to read that real quick because
Yeah.
so people know we're laughing at. Vince Vegas is, by the way, Nintendo's 130 plus year old toy company. Microsoft and Sony don't know how to make margin on cardboard yet. And
Yeah, true. Dead ass. Really.
That's a fair
So,
point.
this is where I was going to lead into with PlayStation and about, the concerns of releasing day and date on PC. Xbox didn't start doing day and date on PC. I mean, you could argue for them, they were in a much more dire need to get things on PC day and PlayStation. But I'd argue that PlayStation is kind of putting themselves in the corner to absolutely need to put themselves on PC now with the cost of budget, with how the whole chasing gas games for the last year or two has kind of gotten them nowhere outside of Helldivers, but they've just canceled so many games now. That's a money pit. But the way Xbox made shit get day and date with actual purpose, in a way that makes sense, is that it benefits essentially everybody involved. With especially the Play Everywhere initiative, with Game Pass, with the cross-play initiative, with Between the Games, cross-save. It wasn't just, hey, we're dropping this game here, and if you don't own it, fucked because you don't own it over here.
Are you cut out, Mike?
For
Okay,
God's
that's
sake.
not just my internet. Good.
My headset's probably dying. Let me know. I just think that, and I'm keeping my microphone right next to that Xbox Xbox made it make sense with making it an actual ecosystem that benefits everybody involved. And PlayStation will do the same in the end.
I think you're right. I think if their plan is any sort of PC support, I don't think they really have a choice. They need to have a solid ecosystem in place to make it viable. Because
imagine you could earn like trophies on PC, and then they would cross between your PlayStation console and your PC. Like, yeah, that'd be cool. You know,
that's like one of the first things you need. Like, Xbox has achievements. I can boot up Prey. Like, I just downloaded Prey on my PC via Game Pass. I already beat it on Steam, but I want to beat it on Xbox and get the achievements. I downloaded it on Game Pass. I can get achievements on Prey. I can also, I don't think Prey is actually cross-save, so that's a bad example. But a lot of the newer games that are releasing from Bethesda, I would assume from Activision eventually, whenever new games from them start coming. And then within Xbox Game Studios, I have cross-save. I have, like, cross-progression on my games. Starfield's cross-progression. That's huge for me. I play a lot on PC, and I also play a lot on my Series S in my bedroom before I go to bed. So, that stuff like that's huge, and that's, like, they absolutely need that. There's, like, no way they can't have that and hope to build a viable ecosystem on PC. You can't not have that. And look
you
at
even have Death Stranding, right? You have Death Stranding on PC. You get Xbox achievements. That game's not even on Xbox.
I get Xbox. I was getting Xbox achievements for Death Stranding, which is insane. But also, you look at PlayStation as a console right now, dude. They don't even have that ecosystem built really from last generation to this generation, because cloud saves didn't work. When you beat all those games on PS4, and then they said, hey, here's the new PS5 version for $10, might I add. You gotta pay for it. But here's the new PS5 version, you can play it again. You boot it up, your save is gone. It is gone. So it's like they have a lot of work to do on their ecosystem, but I just wanted to bring that up because you guys mentioned the ecosystem.
No,
dude,
but that's
not
the thing.
Good.
It's all about actually building a healthy ecosystem when you do it, rather than just because if they're truly concerned about the cannibalizing of PlayStation of a brand, not just console sales, it's the way in which you handle it. Also, they could even put PS Plus onto PC somehow. There are so many ways. God, could you imagine if they released their own launcher and you have to have PS Plus to play PC games online?
Dude,
oh my god.
Oh, that's over. But, that's over. If they do that.
But so I just thought that was funny to say.
Then Microsoft trying to do something. I think Microsoft tried to do something like that a long time ago, right? With Windows Live, we had to get gold to play online or something like
Oh,
that?
dude, Windows Live. I have no idea. I don't. Even, I very vaguely remember Windows Live.
It's like,
Getting
it's like
back to
that
your
shit
Windows
that
Live was
everyone fucking
horrifying.
hated it. Like
Yeah,
everyone
Windows
hated it.
Live was bullshit. Windows Live was straight garbage.
yeah, the only thing I
But
remember from Windows Live was Halo 2 was on PC for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Mhm.
yeah, but to me, it's all just about building an ecosystem that benefits people involved. Like of everyone that plays. So if you buy the game on PC, maybe it's on console. I don't really know how they want to handle it, because I feel like they do enjoy their double dipping fees that they get from people, but maybe they can find a way to make it more worth their while. And I don't want to continue on this because I'm more interested on the Xbox side of things. But as a person that plays exclusively on PC, it's kind of nice always to hear that I might be getting more games sooner rather than later. So it's
Definitely.
always something good to talk about. Um, but yeah, you guys go on.
Oh,
Uh,
I guess I'm up next then, right?
yeah, go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I mean these 4 games, right? That they want to release. I mean, obviously, I'm definitely probably gonna buy Hi-Fi Rush again on PS5, especially if it gets a physical copy. Honestly, I'll probably get by. Yeah, like if they make a physical copy of Hi-Fi Rush, I'll probably get it both on Xbox and PS5 because I just like the game that much. Especially if it's like only like $40. Like, why not?
It changed Juan's life.
Yeah, yeah, like that game. I love that game, and I'd be
It made
down to
him
play it
cry.
again. Yeah, yeah, but yeah. I
Ooh,
mean, like
Vincent
it make,
Vega. I'm sorry, Juan.
oh
Vincent
yeah,
Vega in the
sure.
chat corrected me. So he said his old God of War save popped up on God of War 2018. So I guess I'm incorrect on that. So I do
Okay.
apologize. But I do know cloud saves are a bitch on PS5. At least for me, they've been a bitch. But yeah, continue.
All right. But what was I saying again? But yeah, I mean these 4 games they make sense. Like I think the 2 Tomorrow games, Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment, and then 2 live service games, Sea of Thieves and Grounded. I mean, like when you really think about it, it's not really the first time Xbox has done this. They released Ori on Switch, Ori 1 and 2 on Switch. They released Minecraft Legends, no one batted an eye, you know. And what else? So, technically, if Microsoft really wanted to, they could have kept Cuphead exclusive, but they chose not to, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like they've technically done this before, right? They're just kind of this is the first time, they're doing this, with their first party studios, I guess. Well, I mean, technically not even because Mojang is a first party studio too, right? So, um, but the thing is, you got to realize though is like Microsoft owns like 2 major publishers at the end of the day now. That's like over like almost 50 studios, right? They all need a paycheck, and I feel like just limiting all that to the freaking Xbox ecosystem, I think that's like stretching a little too. I feel like you can't really have that all in one ecosystem, right? You gotta spread out like some games here, and like I feel like they're gonna have so many games to the point where they could kind of like choose what to keep exclusive and what not to keep exclusive because I feel like in the next 2 years there's gonna be like a lot of first party games from Xbox. I mean, like think about it. They just had like 4 years ago they only had like how many studios like 10 or something like that, and now they have almost 50. So it's a big jump. Like I know Xbox hasn't had many first party games in the Xbox One generation because like I said they didn't have that many studios, but now they do have a lot of studios. So we're gonna definitely see a big change when it comes to the output alone. And
Yeah.
but yeah, so like and I know a lot of people are even like bringing up the whole like I think there's like this old ass article from like 2015 where Phil Spencer said like, oh, not every game's going to be on PC, right? But a lot of people have been taking that headline out of context because I actually sat down and watched that whole interview, and
Oh, hell yeah.
never once did he actually say like they ever straight up deny that they're going to release games like day one on PC. But what the point that he actually made was that some games, right, are designed specifically with the console in mind, right? For example, you look at Rare Replay, right? How it takes advantage of the Xbox's
Holy
backwards
shit, it's
compatibility.
Vort.
Who's
Sorry.
for?
Vort, what's up? Yeah, I just
Sorry, I
saw
just saw
that.
that.
Keep going,
I was
John.
like, oh, keep going, Twan.
But yeah, like you see a game like Rare Replay that takes advantage of like the backwards compatibility on the Xbox, and then you see obviously like Kinect games, right? They use the Kinect. Like you can't put those games on a PC. Like that was the point that he was making, right? But like I said, people kind of took it out of context, and he's right because some games you can't put on PC so easily, right? Like Rare Replay would be a pain in the ass to put on PC. Like you got to like almost develop an emulator just for the for the PC version, right? So yeah, and what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, like I obviously think more is gonna come down the road. But like I said, like as long as they like, I don't really mind. I don't really care at the end of the day. Like as long as even if they're just like timed exclusives, I still don't care. For example, let's say that new Doom game comes out. A lot of people are saying that it might be a multi-platform game day one. I'm not. Who knows if that's actually the case or not? I don't think so. But either regardless of whether that comes out on both PS5 and Xbox, or if it comes out on Xbox and PC, like I'm gonna be there day one regardless. So I don't really care. Like
Yeah.
So
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't really matter to me at the end of the day. But I mean, we'll see where it goes. Because like I said, it's a new strategy. We don't know what the industry is going to be like in 5 years, so we just got to like sit down and go for the ride, right? To see what happens. And that's
I agree.
pretty much it, honestly. So
very mature take.
Right.
Vort says, sorry I couldn't catch more streams. School, family, and friends have been taken. Or school and my friends have been taken. Yeah, I get that. Don't even worry about it. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Showing up.
Yeah, I mean, but continuing on with the Xbox business update, I mean, there's some more stuff here that we should talk about. Game Pass, the big thing that was reported was day and date games are going to be going away. That was the reported thing.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say Call of Duty wasn't going on Game Pass.
Yeah, like that's always been kind of a rumor. But then at the last week and a half before this this podcast, because that's really all it was, there's rumors that day and dates, they're done with that for Game Pass. Yeah. They came out and confirmed, I think like 4 times, and they ended the show confirming it as well. Sarabon like looking dead in the camera and saying everything that Xbox releases goes day and date into Game Pass. They confirmed this multiple times throughout the show. They hammered it home quite well.
Yeah.
Vincent Vega says COD makes too much dough, no Game Pass. I really do think COD could work on Game Pass. And granted,
did they literally say every studio they own?
Yeah, well, they said every Xbox game. So I mean, who knows? Maybe COD doesn't go in game, but I really don't see how you don't put Call of Duty in Game Pass.
That seems like the obvious thing to do.
Call of Duty makes because Vincent Vega is right. Call of Duty makes a stupid amount of money, but like that's the point. Like it makes a stupid amount of money. There's people like perfect example, PC and Xbox. Look at Starfield is a great example. Now Starfield obviously isn't the money maker that Call of Duty is, but I'm just taking an example. Starfield releases day one in Game Pass. A lot of the players on PC weren't playing that on Game Pass. They were playing that on Steam. Because as much as convenient as Game Pass is for a lot of people, myself included, there's still a huge portion of players that would much rather, especially on PC, who would much rather buy it outright on Steam. I guess in this case, Battle.net. Although COD has moved to Steam, right?
Yeah, it's COD's on Steam.
COD's moved to Steam. But yeah, like, and on PlayStation also. Like, COD's a huge seller on PlayStation. Game Pass isn't going to PlayStation.
Yep.
Like, at all. And also, you got to keep in mind that, like, a lot of the money that Call of Duty makes, as much as they make on sales, and they make a stupid amount of money on sales, they also make a gross amount of money on microtransactions. So it's like that's something that not only isn't going away, that's something that I could probably see even going up if you put it in Game Pass. because people are like, well, I didn't have to spend $70 on it, so I'll just spend the $70 in microtransactions. I could totally see that being the case. Either way, they said day one games aren't going away from Game Pass. That was a big topic. Are you guys surprised by that, or did you think all along that was going to be the case?
I mean,
I wouldn't absolutely capping. Rip Xbox.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
believe
agree.
that they're like I wouldn't believe that they're getting rid of day one games unless they straight up say it, you know. So I wasn't really doubting, I
I
wasn't
mean,
really
that's
doubting that.
literally like
Right.
their whole model right now.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Like
like
that'd
I
be a
feel
big change, you know.
like they now have actual content for Game Pass. Like
Yeah,
like
that's insane.
it'd be the dumbest thing ever just to all of a sudden stop.
Like
Like I
especially
just
like Call of Duty, right? That's like a year, like every year you're guaranteed a new Call of Duty on Game Pass.
that's how they'd get people into even into the ecosystem. I feel like
And
there's a
people,
lot of people out there that would
Yeah.
absolutely just get like a Series S equivalent or an X or whatever.
yeah, and like, people say like, oh, COD sells too much, they can't do that, right? Well, if all those people that would buy COD instead would subscribe to Game Pass instead, I feel like Microsoft would want that because that would be a lot more
Yeah, it's
subscribers.
all about the ecosystem and
Right.
engagement
Yeah.
numbers rather
So
than just the strict of selling of copies itself. At least it's
Yeah.
a combination of the two. But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
actually a fair point you brought up, Twan. Like I would imagine. I mean, how much did Modern Warfare 3 sell? Like, what was it, like 20 something million last time?
Well, yeah, it was like I think it was like the second best selling game or
Yeah,
something.
so it's
Right
like
behind,
if
right
if
behind Hogwarts
let's
Legacy.
say everybody, let's say 20 million people
Yeah.
all never buy Call of Duty again, but 20
Yeah.
million people subscribe to Game Pass.
That'd be huge. Yeah, that
I
almost
mean,
double it. That would almost double it. Yeah.
that's recurrent billing every
Engagement
single
numbers and
month.
staying sub to Game Pass, Vincent. That's the thing, though, Vincent. Engagement numbers and people trying to stay subbed onto Game Pass because now they have actual content to keep. I don't know. I see what you're saying, but sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. I just wanted to address that before I forget again because I'm like exhausted. But yeah, I see what he's saying as well, so I'm not gonna like disagree. Sorry, Twan, go on.
Yeah, I would say like if everyone stopped buying COD and it said subscribe to Game Pass, that'd be like Microsoft's wet dream. That's like that's like exactly what they want.
That's what they want. Exactly.
I mean, that would fund not only the next Call of Duty, but the next anything that Microsoft wants to make. Pretty much. But yeah, for it as a PC user, I have no idea what's going on, but good job. Thank you very much for it.
Good job.
We should talk a little bit about hardware. Then, I mean, we've been going for about an hour and a little over an hour now, but we should get out of here soon. But before we get out of here, we should talk a little bit about the hardware because that was also a big talking point. And that was I don't know about you guys, that was my main concern with this whole thing. All these rumors, and when they started, my only real concern with all of it was, what does that mean for the
consoles?
what does that mean for the hardware? What does that mean for the library of games that I've built on that platform? So they come out and said that they have hardware in the works. Their next gen plans are well underway at this point. They said we will hear about some form of hardware, whatever that ends up being,
probably Brooklyn,
this year.
Honestly.
What's that?
It's probably be Brooklyn, like that all digital one.
I don't think that's happening because Phil Spencer whenever those leaks came out, Phil Spencer kind of he made sure to be like, yeah, a lot of what you see in these leaks have changed. And the big talking point from those leaks was that console, especially the fact that they called it, what was the shit they called it? Adorably all digital.
Yeah, the Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, so that was like the big talking point from that thing, and everybody was disgusted with it. And then Phil Spencer came out and was like, guys, calm down. A lot of this stuff is not happening.
Yeah.
You still think that controller is happening? The haptic feedback?
Yes, I 1,000% think that control. And that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if that's technically the hardware we hear about this year.
It could be, yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting though. But the point being, hardware is here for the foreseeable future. Eventually, at some point, I would assume it goes away, but I don't think it's anywhere near to being close enough to be worried about it or concerned in any way, shape, or form. But what do you guys think? I know, Mike, you're mostly on PC now, so this really doesn't affect you too much. But Twan, what do you think? Are you excited for new hardware? Are you surprised to hear that they're working on hardware after hearing that, they're going to go third party?
I mean, I would have been more like all this stuff, right? I was like really taking this stuff with like a grain of salt, right? Like I wanted to hear from the horse's mouth what they were going to say. So if they said that they were going to quit hardware, I'd have to hear from them. So I mean, I mean, we saw like their plans, right? We already saw like their roadmaps, all that leak shit, and they clearly had a next generation console already planned. And yeah, it seems like those plans are still a thing. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it really depends on like if it's gonna be an all digital console, right? Like that's gonna be very important to me if I could use physical discs or not. Because like I said, I'm old school, right? Like I really want to know if that.
I mean,
shit's
of course
still
you're
on.
old school. Your PC
definitely.
has 4 cores and you refuse to upgrade it. Anyways, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Very old
Right.
school.
So yeah, but yeah, that shit's obviously important to me, and it really depends on how. It also depends on how Microsoft's going to be releasing their games, because like if they really are eventually going to go all third party, maybe I'll just need a PS6. We'll see. I mean, we're gonna have, because like I said, it's no secret that like PlayStation is pretty much like my main platform. Like there's pretty much no secret about
Tony.
that. But obviously I'm not against getting out of my comfort zone. I'll turn on my Xbox, right, and play games on my Xbox, and I'm totally fine with that, right? But obviously I have a preference, right? I
It's very
play on
brave.
PlayStation. So, a lot of people, there's just a lot of people out there that are just too, they're too stuck in their ways and be like, I'll never turn an Xbox on, right? They just can't do it. But I'm totally fine with doing that. Right. I'm totally fine with turning an Xbox on.
I'm
But
not.
That's incredibly brave of you to say.
thank you.
Go on Twitter and tweet it. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah. I mean, we'll see. There are like I remember there were some rumors that they're planning on going like the whole licensed route. Like I don't know if you remember like the Steam boxes.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not
Like
just
like-
common sense tells me that's not happening. Also, I mean, there's been a few people who have come out and said that's absolutely not happening. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, there's so many examples in the past where people have tried that and it failed miserably.
It's
Like
a
for
terrible
example,
idea.
like the 3DO tried that, failed. Like the new
Dude,
one tried that,
Steam
failed.
box
Steam
could have been
boxes
such
failed.
And the only reason, like, once again, it's just because everyone was doing it. There's like 50 different variants of it, and it's just like it was such a cool idea, but it just, trying to get everybody to do it, killed it.
Because when you license out hardware like that, like the people manufacturing those boxes, they need to make full profit off those boxes. That you can't just cut a loss, because you're not going to make any money off of it if you make a loss. Because like you said, they have like the people manufacturing it, they don't have a storefront where they could just take the loss and move on. They can't do that. So they have to sell you at a ridiculous price, like at like $700 or something stupid like that. But so yeah, it's just a bad idea all around. But there's no. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead, because there's a point I want to make, and it's kind of long.
I
want you to.
I was gonna bring up the whole handheld thing as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like, I mean, honestly, I'd be very curious, because I heard like a lot. Apparently, like Phil Spencer's been liking tweets involving an Xbox handheld. I'm not sure if that's true, but I'd be surprised how they even approached. I would be surprised how they approach that, because you see like something like the Steam Deck or even like the ROG Ally, and that's like already kind of a portable Xbox when you think about it. So
yeah, but people who only play on Xbox aren't rushing out to buy a Steam Deck, because like the thing about a handheld Xbox is that the games you've bought on Xbox, you buy that handheld and they're on there. Whereas, I mean, I can play on Xbox all I want, but when I bought my Steam Deck, I had my library of Steam games, and that was
well, yeah.
it.
I mean, for the Steam Deck, yeah, you can make a case with that. But like the ROG Ally, that has Windows. Like your games would cross over to that.
But even that, like, not everything you buy on Xbox is a Play Anywhere title.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
so that's why specifically a handheld made entirely for Xbox, it would be such a hit.
Yeah, like I guess with the Windows OS, not with Windows, like the Xbox
with an Xbox OS, yes.
Yeah.
Like
would that also be able to play 360 and OG Xbox games too? You think?
That's the thing. That's because it would have to be a PC. It would have to be like the ROG Ally or a Steam Deck, just running the most basic form of Windows that is literally just like the Xbox dashboard and then it has like an emulator on it for like 360 or original Xbox, but it would have to be incredibly basic. But it's something that I would get it day one. It'd be no questions asked. I get that 100%. Just to play all the games I have. Like I have like a library of like 400 something games on Xbox. Just to be able to play those whenever, I would totally get that. Easy. But yeah, it is true. He
probably be
he
like
was
the
liking
Xbox
tweets.
Series Go or something.
What do they
The
call whatever the
Xbox
fuck they
Series
want?
Go.
You could call it the Xbox fuck you, give me your money. I will buy it.
Xbox 69.
Xbox Series SS.
Yeah. Call it that. You call it whatever the fuck you want. I'm down for it. But
I mean, I guess it'd basically just be like a
Xbox
Series
SS,
S.
super small.
Yeah, it'd be like a Series
Trademark.
S, but like just with a screen on it, and you could like just take it anywhere essentially. You know, that's what I assume it'd be like. Yeah,
maybe.
But do you think it would take physical media? Probably not.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be
Yeah, just fucking jam a disc right into the screen.
I don't expect I certainly don't expect my Steam Deck to take physical media. I wouldn't.
You could make anything except anything if you try hard. Well, at work is a different question.
In Vegas as the Xbox portal.
They should definitely slap a disk drive on that. They should just slap a disk drive. I'd be down.
And that's the one thing about the whole fucking PlayStation portal that just doesn't drive in, potential new customers. So you have to already have a PS5,
Yeah.
Xballs, portables. Love you, Vort.
Xballs.
Yeah, it'd be very disappointing if this thing came out and it was only a cloud device. That's
the thing. And see, that's the thing, because
the
thing is, they already have that. They have that fucking
Logitech
Logitech G Cloud or whatever.
$300. That's absurd.
It is. It's dumb. They already have that. They know that nobody wants it, and the people who do want it have already got it. There's no need for them to make an in-house version of that. They're they have to know that. They absolutely have to know that. And Phil Spencer, I have a hard time believing Phil Spencer would be online liking tweets about an Xbox handheld if he knew that their version of a handheld was a cloud-only device.
It's like, just use your fucking phone.
Use your phone, buy whatever, get a tab. I don't care, but figure it out. We don't need a cloud-only device. We've got plenty of that stuff. There's tons of ways to do that. But I wanted to throw out, because we're talking about the hardware here. This isn't my idea. I'm not going to take any credit for it. This is actually Mental 9R's
This is all your idea. Got it.
This is Mental 9R's idea.
Not like Game's idea.
He was on Bullsitting the last 3 weeks, and he brought up the idea of Xbox releasing, and I think it's fucking brilliant. I think it's probably not going to happen, but I think it's the most perfect idea ever, of releasing basically that what we just talked about, that Xbox handheld, but instead of how it's the Xbox handheld with Windows and everything, but a stripped down version. But instead of being a handheld, the home console is just that, basically like it is now, but instead it also is kind of like a PC. And not a PC in that it has all the functionality of a PC, like you can edit videos or create content, but just like Steam, Epic, all the launchers, whatever launchers there are now. I use Steam, Epic, and GOG, but there's a bunch more. But all those launchers plus the Xbox OS on a console, and then the way of the future, because Phil Spencer was talking about how in 10 years exclusives won't matter too much. I mean, imagine them doing that, and then I don't know, 5 years from now, they have that console, and you can play PlayStation games on it. I thought it was awesome. An idea.
Well, I think I'm a little bit. I think maybe in a 20-year span, but if this is their upcoming hardware, it's definitely just going to be locked to the Xbox ecosystem, because it's just about
yeah, definitely.
It's just simplicity,
It's the simplicity of it, and it's I think that also that would probably be too unless there's a way to streamline it to the point of so easy a caveman can do it. But I think the whole point of being this is Xbox. You are buying this game in the handheld. It's going to be available on your console. It's going to be available digitally. It's going to be available PC. It's going to be in the cloud, which is digital. Your saves are going to be everywhere. It's going to work everywhere, but you are on Xbox. And I think that's kind of like, but I agree, like, in that 10-year span or 15-year span. And then also, then I kind of feel like, because, that's why the ROG Ally exists. But once again, it's a whole back and forth with, differing opinions and, valid inputs back and forth. But yeah, I mean, that is still a cool idea. But yeah, also the pricing. Dude, I don't know who fucking thought pricing the Logitech at $300 was a smart idea.
It's not. I mean, the Portal. How much is the Portal? It's like, is it 200 or 300?
I think it's 200.
Yeah. Even the Portal at 200, it's like that's just dumb as shit.
Like, I feel like the Logitech was like a better device. I feel like that's a better device. The Logitech.
Oh yeah,
one.
I mean, at least from what I understand, like my Samsung Galaxy Tab S5e, that has an OLED screen. It does 1600p. It can turn into a laptop technically. I can't remember the name of it, but I've actually used it before. It's actually pretty nice. That thing's like I think it was like $350 to $400, and that can do essentially all of that and more compared to what like I don't know. I just feel like that makes sense as once again OLED screen over 1440p resolution, scream everything.
The thing about the Logitech, you're just better off spending a little bit more and getting a Steam Deck. That's the thing.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the problem with those devices. I think
you can definitely have stream only handhelds.
They have to be priced appropriately.
I think you can actually definitely have a stream only handheld. Yeah, exactly. It's all about pricing, because like I'm just trying to right now find a convenient way to stream my PC to like my devices, because like once I found out like, hey, you know what, my Vincent, I don't know if you remember that thing, but my Nvidia Shield Portable still lives from 2013, still alive. It's stuck on Android 5.1. But it's still alive. But like I was streaming games to that the other day, and I'm like, this is really fun. I really kind of play games outside my house, but chilling, playing games on my little doohickey, and I like it. No, I'm not. But yeah, I don't know. That's just
how old is that Nvidia Shield now? I think that thing is like so old now.
It's literally over a decade old. It came out in 2013.
It is 30.
Yeah, I remember like hearing about that shit when I was like not even in high school. I remember hearing about that shit.
Jesus Christ, Twan, how old are you? 12? How old am I?
I mean, I'm 40.
I remember looking at the Nvidia Shield. I was like, "Wow, that thing looks so rad." You see, like it was like an Xbox controller after the screen.
I'm 130. I fought in both World Wars. Anyways, let's say.
Nvidia Shield. I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like I was having fun with that, and I'm kind of wish there was just a more reasonably priced modern device. And I'm like, and I was looking at the Logitech. I'm like, yeah, no, that's just not it. And like, and it's just not it. But yeah, so that's my opinion. I just crashed my ship.
Man, they should design the device like the Nvidia Shield, where I feel like that was like a pretty ergonomic design with like the controller with the screen popping out.
The thumbsticks were a little too far down into like if you ever look at that thing, you guys are like, well, I don't know what the hell Vort's saying in the chat. I'm not gonna address what Vort is saying. Cliches, but yeah, I love that thing. The fact it still works makes me happy, and I'm sad that Nvidia doesn't make hardware like that. And I also had the Nvidia Shield K1, and that thing was a fucking beast. That thing was actually insane. I could emulate, for the most part, like GameCube games and Dreamcast games.
Oh, really? That'd be nice.
Yeah. So it's like not perfect, but I could.
Yeah.
I'm an undead wizard. All right. Okay. Force is gonna be saying things. Yeah. So. All right, Matt. You.
That's it.
You go on.
That's it. That's the end of the show.
That's it.
That's the end of the show. I honestly, because I rushed and I made I need to eat something, because all I did was I made some like frozen burrito before the show. I need to eat something. We're gonna get out of here, but before we do, outros. Twan, get us started on outros. if your computer doesn't die.
Okay, yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like it's.
I thought
good.
it did. I
Looks
thought
like
it.
it's
I
good right
legit
now.
thought
Anyways.
He had Epic. He closed
No,
Epic Game.
no.
He closed Epic
the
Games.
the moment I
Mark.
closed Epic's games, everything was smooth sailing.
Epic Games. I don't know the way you said that.
But so yeah,
Yo.
you can find me on this show like when we do it, usually on Sunday, and you can find me on Twitter/X at It's Me Twan, and that's it. Yeah, that's it.
I am nowhere else. You can find me here, and I sometimes though stream on the Game Drain.
Yeah, it
I
seems like you
don't-
revived that
oh,
channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike is
you can find me
single-handedly
over at the
carrying the
Game Drain.
Game Drain
Actually,
channel.
yeah.
You
I'm
are.
bringing that thing's corpse out from the grave.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do something with it. I don't know yet.
Mhm.
But I'm
You
considering
have too many memories on there.
ways.
You know.
I'll run it through you guys later, but I have a few ideas. So yeah, you can find me here on Sunday and when I stream over on the Game Drain.
Very nice. As for myself,
Where can we find me? What the hell is that noise?
What?
Sorry.
Oh, there was a weird
Sorry.
noise I heard.
You catch one. All right. As for
So
myself,
Yeah,
you can
fine.
find me on Twitter at MattLikesGames, or actually at Hard Days Mike. You can find me on YouTube, also Hard Days Mike, and Matt Likes Games videos every Monday. Videos every Monday and Friday, and then Wednesdays it's the two-player podcast with myself and Ham solo. This week, actually, it will be me and Mike because Ham is taking a break from shows. He deserves it. He's been doing like a show every day for like the past year. I don't know how he does it, but that is where you can find me. Obviously here Sundays 8 p.m. Eastern, and then on Fridays 4 p.m. Eastern for Bullshit, and that's where you can find me. But thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Hopefully. Bye.
Oh, we will.